lot of audio balance problems, so hopefully we can get those sorted out. But if the stream is going well, also let us know, so that way we can get another thing off of our checklist.
Yeah, guys, I've been with the beta streams when they were beta streams since the start, since Orlando, and I have to say, seeing them grow to this extent really makes me happy because I want to give you guys the best possible production I can. So your feedback is critical for us, of course. As Froden said, please let us know. We want to make this as enjoyable as possible for you guys. We're here for you. We want to make sure you guys have a good time, and thank you so much for supporting MLG and just esports in general. We really value you. And I mean that sincerely. So we're going to get right into this game, though, in just 1 second as the players are ready. So we're getting in, and we're going to take away player introductions in just 1 second.
All right, so here we go, ready to go. As looks like we do see that Killer's here in the top right as the blue Protoss representing Complexity Gaming, and he is up against Zerg in the bottom right. His name is Symbol from Team SCV Life, which is still kind of an interesting name to me, the SCV Life.
It certainly is. It's one that I'm afraid of, to be honest. As a caster, TSL means so many different things to me. It's the one team that I really stay
away. Also a tournament.
Yep, exactly. And you know, it's one of those things that evidently Clutch has an issue with also. So, but you know, it's okay because as we said earlier, Clutch can dance like no other.
Absolutely.
If you guys haven't checked it out, please do so. So essentially, we saw in the first game. I have to say, Froden, though, the one thing that sort of gets me a little bit about this matchup, it's one of my favorite matchups to cast. However, I feel like Heart of the Swarm is going to, if we can theory craft here a little bit while they mine, add a little variety. Because let's face it, anytime you have a matchup where one race has to open up a certain way, aka Forge Fast Expand, or mostly opens up a certain way, I feel like that sort of pigeonholes the entire matchup. And I think Zergs kind of feel the same way too. It's like, okay, Forge Fast Expand again. Now there's a couple of different things Zerg can do against Forge Fast Expand, you know, to go ahead and capitalize on the fact that the units are going to be a little bit delayed for Protoss. Some like to go ahead and obviously grab that quick third. Rhett can get to a very quick fourth in drone. So super hard. Rhett actually not having a great MLG tournament thus far, though.
Yeah, he's kind of been taken out by some Protosses. We saw the fact that he got cannon rushed, and he didn't even try. The cannons weren't even done. They were halfway done, and he just GG'd. So Rhett is not having the most successful tournament here, both in terms of results or even psychologically. But we do see the Nexus first here from Killer. And, you know, you were talking about how Protoss is kind of forced to open in one way. And the whole idea of versatility in PvZ right now is based off of what happens after the Forge, whether or not Protoss decides to go for Warp Gates or some kind of tech. But I love this play by Killer, double blocking because he knows that Zerg might be expecting to go for a medium fast third hatchery. And look at that, looks like
gets the cancel off,
yeah,
so he's going to save 75 minerals, and that matters. That does actually matter, so phenomenal. I love the fact that he let the pylon finish in the natural and then got the cancel off on the third as well. So we can actually see there are Zerglings on the field. They're going to tag up at the Zelnaga Tower, realizing that, in fact, by the time he got there, knowing his timings, the cannon would be finished.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do see that Killer. For now, just focusing on walling off and just doing everything casual. We'll probably grab double gases momentarily, and gas number one.
There they go.
So we'll see that Killer, it's all about whether or not he gets his third and fourth gases. That's pretty much the determining factor of what Protoss will do. But in the meantime, Symbol is going gasless 3 hatch with a pool. So this is actually very, very, very similar to how Rhett actually plays.
Yes.
And you actually go for quad queens extremely quickly, as that is your form of anti-air. That is also your form of spreading creep in production and getting larva.
You know what, Froden, I love that decision. The Queen is a phenomenal unit for many reasons. As you said, anti-air, larva injects, that energy always comes in handy. Transfuse if you need them. You know, it's a unit that has so much versatility and is so useful that it's hard to go wrong making queens. So it's a very, very good style to play, especially if you sense that, once again, you're going to see some airplay out of the Protoss.
Absolutely. So we do see the Cybernetics core finishing, but no third or fourth gas, so he could throw down one single Stargate, but that is the most flexibility that Killer has. But in the meantime, back at Zerg, we do see the first couple of gases being taken here from Symbol, which is very important for Protoss to also realize. But we do see the Stargate here from Killer, which is, why not? It worked game number 1, it worked game number 2, and it's also a fantastic choice for Antigua Shipyards.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. So apparently, you know, Killer really likes that Stargate play. Some Protoss, I know Grubby in particular, having a chance to talk to him recently, he has a bit of a problem opening up with Stargates. I shouldn't say problem, but he has a hard time making work. He's not comfortable against Zerg making Stargate work. So some Protoss very comfortable, of course, using it. Others not so much.
Well, it's the idea of you invest a lot, and Stargate play is really easy to shut down if the Zerg's prepared.
Yeah, I feel like they know now. Like,
Yeah.
like they get their creep spread, they get their extra queens, maybe a couple spores, and it almost seems like they're ready for it. Exactly right.
Yeah, and just the fact that you might invest a lot of gas and time into something that literally did not get you anything, but we saw in the past that it was actually extremely useful for Killer Songho to use those Phoenixes just for scouting information, harass, but also discovering the attack timing and the composition, which was really, really important. So we'll see how active Killer will be with his units, but in the meantime, we do see a lair attempt here, as well as Roach Sworn plus, the Eagle Chamber for +1 as well. Void Ray has been revealed, so basically more information has been put on the board. We'll see how Symbol reacts here.
And you know what, Froden, Killer did not mind it all one bit. He had that rallied right to the Overlord, so he wanted to reveal that Void Ray, completely comfortable in doing so. Maybe wants to once again force Hydra, as he knows, you know, a lot of Zerg uncomfortable with that unit, especially off creep. As much DPS as it does, it can be very difficult. And Colossus really just devastate.
Yep. We do
Hydra.
see and Killer's actually opening the exact same way as before. He goes up to 4 gates, gets +1 as well as the Twilight Council. No doubt will start Blink momentarily. But in the meantime, we do see the Hydralisk Den as well from Symbol, and looks like he's also sporing up, making sure he's pretty safe. But more importantly, this is looking very similar to game number 1, except Symbol is not necessarily getting Overlord speed and drop.
No, exactly. So we're going to have to see how he decides to tackle the problem that is Killer at the moment. So I have to say, Froden, I almost feel like things seem to be rolling Killer's way. He's got the initiative, and I feel like, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but as you notice right now, you see Symbol just laying back in the pocket, completely happy to sit here and defend, which actually I think at the moment is what he just needs to do until he's comfortable. Going to move out, get a little bit of map control here with the links, and what he needs to do is actually check in on that third. And if he'll do so, he'll realize at Killer's timing around the same time, he is going to plant that third down. And here he goes. Look at this. Great game sense. Lynx are going to move in, and it looks like they will be able to go ahead and deny this third.
Wow, that's a big play there. Killer got really careless, and he definitely is not happy about that. As looks like he might try to see if he can snipe. Oh, he's left some probe as well. Another great way to delay the third as well implicitly. And we do see that the Roaches and Zerglings are running here, but there's actually nothing defending the Naturals explicitly. And we do see that the Zealots do warp in, and a great pickup by the Phoenixes as well. So, you know, the Hydras do arrive to the battlefield, but that is only one Hydra, accompanied by a few more. And we finally see that Songho is getting his blink up, and if he can wait for that, then he'll be okay. But for now, Symbol is pushing in here, though.
No, he definitely is, and that's where you saw the retreat from Killer, to where he can engage on his terms. That's what Killer's so good at doing, and there you go, force field's going down. Phoenix coming in, grab lifting away, actually going to do bonus damage against Light, which are those Hydralisks. So while actually Colossus do well in good numbers, Phoenix do well against Hydra also. So the question is, does he have enough Hydras here, as the DPS of the Hydra doing really well against gateway units and the few Phoenix that Killer has. But don't forget, this is sort of how he started the first time. Will he recheck the third? He does. Great decision here right now out of Symbol.
Yeah, Symbol is still doing exactly what he needs to do, and wow, looks like he does manage to snipe the pylon and just delay that even further. So Killer, he may have overextended with the Stalkers. The Zerglings are now arriving, and all of a sudden this Hydra lane composition here from Symbol is just giving so many headaches here to Killer, as he is not able to push out whatsoever. He can't even get his third economy up. And we do see that Killer all of a sudden kind of backed into a corner here, not able to get his third up. And it's very interesting because Antigua is one of these maps that's actually easy to defend, and it's all because of the positioning. You would allow the units to get past what I call the Diamond of Doom on Antigua Shipyard. That area is where Zerg cannot push past if you have force fields, but Killer unfortunately led him there, and now he's hanging out there as if It's kind of a popular spot after school to go.
It's
to.
like the 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
it's just there having a Slurpee.
7-Eleven's
right?
so popular in Asia.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You just hit an unprecedented part of my heart and my childhood, Tumba.
Nothing but love for you,
7-Eleven is actually the most prevalent store in the entire world.
Well, yeah, and you know what? What a great store it is. Anywhere I can walk in and get a Slurpee makes me quite happy. So as you can see right now, now Killer the one being a little bit frustrated, blinking out, playing patiently, but man, I'll tell you what, exactly like you said, just hanging out here right in the real estate of Killer. Simple doing a very good job, and that's really ominous. And you know what? He's been able to go ahead and expand behind this as well. So great. Taking a fourth, denying the third. This is right where you want to be.
Yeah, base number 4 coming in for Zerg, so Symbol will be able to try to see if he can just take a huge economic advantage. You see he's getting Mutas onto the field, and Mutas is actually a fantastic choice because he's going to try to see if he can draw even more forces away from the natural front. And right now you can see that Killer's kind of clogged in here. He's running out of space to breathe really for his units, and mobility in his base is going to be very, very key as the Mutas are now starting to go to work on the work.
Absolutely, right into the probe line, and that's not where you want to see them if you're a Protoss, as they are destroying your economy. And you can see Blink Stalkers right now doing their best to zone out those Phoenix as well. Going to come in here and try to do some work against those Mutas.
Yeah, so it looks like we do see that Killer, this is what he's going to try to do. He's pretty much backed into the corner because he has an influx of minerals because he normally would commit that to more probes right now and getting his third up. But he's going to try to see if he can do his best to turtle up to a 2 base and try to see if he can force the timing here. But unfortunately, Zerg is pretty much doing everything he wanted to do.
Froden, look at this. Another expansion right now out of Symbol.
Wow.
So doing so very well. Mutas were a great choice for him. Of course, going to add to the map control, add to the ability to harass, and guess what? Deny a third. So really, that could be the nail in the coffin. This is a beautiful composition as the Lynx now get in, and they're starting to do work against the Stalkers. Zealot's kind of clogged, as you said, and you can see right now the Immortal trying to get involved in there, but able to focus that down. So Roaches and Hydras reigning, I wouldn't say reigning supreme quite, but they are definitely inflicting a lot of damage. And don't forget, he keeps expanding behind this and can forward, just feed reinforcements in, Froden.
Yeah, and you know, Killer, a huge play that Symbol made, he actually used Mutas to snipe the sentries. There were about 4 or 5 sentries, and he had the Mutas dive them because he drew away the Stalkers originally with the Mutas. So Symbol using fantastic tactical advantages and being able to really pick Sangho apart, just because now he doesn't have sentries. He's down just to Stalker Colossus, which is a very vulnerable composition because there's no real meat to that army.
Right.
All the Zealots are dead.
Yeah, without the gateway support, that Colossus is pretty exposed.
Yep.
And, you know, frankly, with the economy right now of Symbol, he can afford to just play the waiting game here. I mean, he can starve out Killer.
Yep. And Killer, of course, here, still just trying to get Colossus, doing his best to try to stay viable in the game, but at this point, he's all he's forced to do is to sit back and hope that Symbol makes a mistake at this point.
This is brave.
So brave.
They're brave to put that pylon there. That's a brave probe. That probe's like, I'm not afraid, Froden. I'm going to go put a pylon and I'm going to try to make a third again. But there's a burrowed Ling right there. Not going to let it happen, buddy.
Yeah, Symbol's extremely diligent this game. The only thing is he could be spreading his overlords out a little bit more, but now he's starting to put Zerglings
No, yeah, he's
over
using
the map,
using his Lings to go ahead and make sure, 1, there's no ninja expansions, and 2, he's going to be able to burrow and deny. Beautiful. Yep. He's done a great job, like I said, initially staying back in the pocket until he felt like he was ready to go check that third, was able to take out the third, and man, it was off to the races after that.
Yeah, and you can see that now Symbol actually has too many drones. Going to start taking over the center of the map, extending his creep.
I love this. This is absolutely great. How many? What is that? Like 7 spine crawlers there. Froden, this is just exciting Zerg to watch right now. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be so frustrating right now for Killer because as you pointed out, all he can really do is sit back and hope right now that Symbol makes a mistake.
Symbol, of course, is getting every upgrade under the sun. I'm pretty sure at this point he's pretty comfortable to do whatever he wants. He's getting Corruptors as well. 15 spine crawlers are about to finish up. And
who said hanging at the 7-Eleven was a waste of time?
Absolutely not. My mom did, but
your mom.
Again, my mom also said casting was a waste of time.
Did your mom play Zerg? No, she didn't.
No, she did not.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Paid off pretty well thus far for Symbol. Look at that army, very scary. And you want to talk about controlling the center of the map, Froden?
Yep.
This is
a stranglehold. This is a rear naked choke on the map.
Absolutely. No doubt. Another phenomenal analogy out of Froden. Keep him coming all day.
But looks like we do see that Killer managed to probably secure his third, and he's actually starting to get a sizable force here, but still does not really have force fields, does not really have a good count here. Perfect time for Symbol, as he is going to go heyday here onto the Colossus. The Colossus can't really engage without the force fields, and Stalker's forced to blink backwards, but that just leaves the Colossi more exposed here. Symbol, even if he loses his army, can easily resupply in just a moment's heartbeat, and looks like he's just going to back off for now. Sniping the Colossus is the most important thing. Right now, Killer pretty much out of options here. He's not producing anything because he is very, very low on resources. Remaking some Stalkers, blinking forward, picking up roaches. Just a nice little consolation.
Oh,
but
nice burrow, using burrow movement as well to go back to the center of the map. And Froden, if he can drag Killer back to this layer here of spine crawlers, then, you know, really, he's going to have such a great advantage, and he's not going to be happy when he sees all those spine crawlers. Big bungle going down as well on those Stalkers. And this could be the swan song here. There's the GG.
GG. So with that, Symbol ties up the series, and Tumba, I like to say I don't have a curse, but I have a blessing of going to the ace match in almost every series I ever cast.
Well, we predicted we'd see the ace match.
Yeah,
with
actually,
these two. We knew that
Tumba
they were,
called that.
Yeah, we knew they were pretty evenly matched. And as you can see, both players, when we mentioned it the first time, they want this so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that Killer just came out in that first game and really was able to have such great crisis management, but in the second game, the way that Symbol was able to read, really, and almost was almost like Nostradamus predicting the airplay, was prepared for it.
Yeah.
You know, had the spore crawlers out, went to Hydra, and then used those Hydras to deny the third. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful play.
Yeah, and most important thing from Killer again was not protecting his zone. Just right outside that natural, there's two small chokes that you can kind of use past that Diamond of Doom, and you're able to really capitalize on your force fields. And Killer just was playing a little bit too defensive and try to assume that Symbol would let that third go up, and that's too big of an assumption against the ace Zerg of TSL.
No, absolutely. So it will now be Killer's pick for map. I'll be interested to see what he selects actually here.
Yeah, Killer could. We've seen Protosses have been leaning towards Shakuras as a good Protoss map. Some Protosses want to go for a huge macro map where they can get the third also, like Tal'Darim Altar. And Tomb Valley is also a big possibility, but no doubt Symbol vetoed that map because I know every Zerg hates that map on ladder right now.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So just waiting for the map selection at the moment.
Yep.
So go ahead and tweet at us. We'll interact with you, give you some shout-outs. Give us your predictions on who you think will win the ace match. Of course, you can hit at Froden up, at Froden, myself, Tumba SE. I'm just Tumba, but you can get me on Twitter at Tumba SE. Go ahead and tweet predictions, feedback, anything that you'd like to go ahead and interact with us with. We love it. We love interacting with you guys. You guys are the best.
Yeah.
You guys are what esports is all about. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you're having as much fun as we are. I mean,
I haven't cast with Tumba in so long.
Oh,
I'm remembering all the amazing times we used to cast. So
yeah,
this is a good time, Tumba.
Yeah, it's been since the old Stim TV days that Froden and I had cast.
Good year.
Actually, it was ASCW, Amateur StarCraft Weekly, to pull out a name from the past.
If you're a hipster, you would know exactly what that is. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. So right now, again, just waiting. I think both players kind of taking a moment to have a breath.
Yeah.
And maybe
it's been long games.
They have been long, and they're intense games.
Yeah, there's no moments break. You can see Killer the entire time was really active about defending. Symbol with non-stop aggression, constantly pushing back and forth, and in general, Killer was put on his back heel the entire time.
Yeah, those spine crawlers in the middle, I have to mention it again. Loved it. Like you said, you pointed out, just had too many drones. Said, well, you know what? Yeah. Let's put them to good use. Yeah. Lays down all those spine crawlers.
Yeah.
And really the second that Killer got there, and I said he's not going to like it when he sees this. It was GG. That's it. He saw that many spine crawlers at the center of the map. He's like, you know what? This one's over.
Yeah. So Symbol, of course, Nestia was the first person to pioneer that, and I love the fact that Zergs are incorporating it into their play. It's pretty standard now, as most of the other Zergs are catching up. But that's pretty much it. So Killer. What do you think his mindset is going to game number 3 here? As he did the same thing both games, but
it's a great question. It's a great question. I love the question because we talked about Symbol first and how he is very mentally prepared. He's steely. He's fine. He's good in pressure situations. Killer, I feel in that game, I don't want to say was cocky, but confident in the way that game 1 went, to an extent that he felt like he could pull off the same build, but better. Yeah. However, wasn't quite ready for Symbol. So I think Killer, in a lot of ways, is like, okay, that's fine. I tried what happened in game 1. He adapted. Let's throw something new at him. And, you know, I don't expect to see the air opening again. However, it could be one of those things where it's like he'd never open air 3 times in a row, and he does open. So we'll have to see. But I fully expect, Froden, that Killer has something in mind.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see what he chooses to do exactly. Looks like we're still trying to see if we can get the next map. Apparently, the MLG channel is not cooperating with us very easily right now. But in the meantime, thank you. Nicole Carpenter, actually, who just tweeted at me saying that we're doing a fantastic job. We enjoy you guys, and
oh, thank you, Nicole.
yeah, great job there.
So I'm actually going to go back into the chat channel here, and it seems like they actually may be in
The game.
So let's see if we can
Chat with them, I guess, perhaps. But
okay, they're actually in the game currently, so we need to get an invite in, and then we will get this started.
yep. So as we get that, we want to thank our producers once again for trying to set everything up. But
Absolutely, just bear with us as we get into this game. Of course, both players want to get in there.
okay. So Simple apparently asking Killer to invite because he can't invite. But keep in mind, guys, that Killer, he's never been really good at PvT or PvP, but his PvZ has always been pretty good. So he's showing why he's good at Protoss versus Zerg in game number 1. But Symbol is really pulling out all the stops here. Now Symbol's he's pretty unknown, I would say. People don't know him as well, but I want to let you guys know he is one of the best Korean Zergs right now that you haven't heard of. Yeah, people always look at DRG, look at Linok, and they look at NST. And they're like, well, these are these Zergs to watch.
I mean, you see a lot of these players in the Korean Weekly, up and coming.
Yeah.
And, you know, all these players are just, they seem like they have at least Code A chops, a lot of them. So, pretty amazing stuff thus far. So give us a second as we get our producer to try to get us into the game. We're going to do our best to get in touch with the